Do the Chicago Bulls have too many guards? Elias Schuster over at Bleacher Nation seems to think so. Me and Pat are going to break all that down, plus more on today's Locked On Bulls.
You are Locked On Bulls, your daily Chicago Bulls podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you for tuning in to Locked On Bulls, member of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every single day. That's Pat the Designer, host and creator of the Windy City Breeze and host of the Chicago Bears podcast over at ESPN 1000. I'm Haize, host and creator of Chicago Bulls Central, Chicago Bears Central YouTube pages and podcasts. And today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Now through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to get started. That's actually not that bad of a deal, man.
Explore that. Pretty good deal right there. That is pretty good. Might have to figure that one out there.
Yeah, just a $5 bet gets you a 3-week trial of NFL Sunday Ticket. It's not that bad.
$5 for NFL Sunday Ticket, my guy.
Yeah, you gotta get it. It's not that bad. With that being said, Pat, we of course it's the off season, so of course everybody's kind of looking and mulling over what's going on with our Chicago Bulls. And there's a specific article out there that asks the question of, do the Chicago Bulls have a roster construction problem due to how many guards are on the roster? Now, when you look at it, of course, we have Alex Cruz. Oh, no, we don't have Alex Cruz. We have Josh Giddey, Kobe White, Zach LaVine, Ayo Dosunmu, Lonzo Ball, if he is healthy and able to play. That's 5 guards right there. Of course, we're not worried about Javon Carter. We're not worried about it. Not worried about it. Yeah.
Is that Leroy?
Do you think that is it too many guards on the roster, Pat?
We've had too many guards for 3 seasons. This is nothing. 4 seasons, 5 seasons. Why stop there? Let's just make it even 6. You know what I mean? Like, what are we
no. Those early Zach LaVine times, we didn't have too many guards. We actually didn't have that many guards on the roster.
Early Zach LaVine was on there. Chris Dunn, Zach LaVine, Kobe. I can't remember that. Wrong.
And then by
Campaign. Hold on.
No, by the time we got Campaign, Chris Dunn was gone, or at least out of the rotation, right?
I don't think so. I think Campaign wasn't in the rotation yet.
Or maybe Campaign. Campaign.
Remember there was that year where it was,
and then even when we had Sato, Chris Dunn was gone by then.
Chris Dunn was gone by the time we had Sato. Yeah. Either way, guard seems to be the theme for the Chicago Bulls. They don't think that tall guys matter in basketball, which still throws me off. But I think here's the thing. There's a way for that to work. There are teams that are guard-heavy teams that have success, right? Like, it's not a surprise to see teams that have those guys who are kind of those tweeners. I think what makes it tough for the Chicago Bulls is you don't see those guards who can be as much of an impact offensively as they are defensively. I don't know if you have enough of those guys, right? The only guys on the team that you really talk about that way is really Ayo Dosunmu, and I guess if Lonzo Ball is healthy, Lonzo Ball, and that's kind of where your problem comes in. The problem to me isn't the fact of having too many guards, right? Hey, we talk about Orlando having a ton of guards down on that team, but it's the utilization of them, which guards are actually getting in the rotation. And do you have those guys that can kind of be those tweener players that can be a 2-guard, or you could be a small forward if you need to be, right? Like those, I think that's really
we have none of those guys.
We have none of them anymore. Exactly. I mean, like, and really, even DeMar was like, yeah, we got one, but yeah, I mean, like, so I think that's the Bulls' problem right now is not the fact that they have too many guards. It's just you have too many guards that kind of, your hope is that they all utilize the same thing. It's just who's going to be able to knock down 3-pointers, and I think that that's not a good way to construct your team.
Well, yeah, and that's the big issue in that too. Like, not many of them are 3-point shooters. So,
yeah. Kobe, Zach, Ayo, kind of by the numbers.
Ayo became a solid 3-point shooter, but then again, it's like you're betting on right now 1 season of Ayo being a volume solid 3-point shooter, and we've done that once with Vooch and came back to bite us in our ass. Not to say that it will with Ayo, because everything isn't the same. Yeah. But we'll see. I mean, overall, is this. Yeah, the Bulls have too many guards. We already know that the Bulls, this isn't the final Bull. This isn't even necessarily the roster the Bulls wanted to have going into the season. They wanted Zach LaVine to be off this roster. We do still have, like, Josh Giddey has positional size, which is really good. We got Pat, we got Modest Bucilis, we got Torrey Craig. So you got a solid a solid forward rotation there. I mean, it is what it is when it comes down to it.
I mean, listen, like, to me, I think that it's okay. I'm not mad at the Bulls construction. I think I'm mad I'm mad at more of the pieces you weren't able to move than I am at the construction of this team. Like, if we're being real, right? Like, everybody's not going to get into this rotation, right? How many minutes is Leroy Carter getting next season?
No, zero, none.
We hope, but we saw a lot of that mug last year.
We really didn't, bro.
We kind of did, bro. It was way too long for them to just be like, oh, this guy's kind of not good. Like, we were just like, bro, wait, he's shooting nothing. Like, he's just out there pump faking and running, bro. We saw way too much of Leroy Carter last year. But again, right? Like, I don't think that I don't think it's a bad setup that the Bulls have. I think it's about the utilization of those players. I think it's about, like you mentioned, you've got a really good forward rotation. It's about the development of some of these guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
The guard rotation is fine to me if the forward rotation takes a step this season, right? If Matas Busilis comes in and is aggressive and is actually able to impact the game right away. If Patrick Williams, for the love of God, finally figures out, hey, I'm bigger than everybody. If I just go through people's chest, I can actually dunk the basketball on a consistent basis. Like, I think that those are the things where if you continue to see this Bulls team take steps in the right direction in other positions, you've actually got a really solid guard rotation, which is basically just Kobe White, Zach LaVine, Ayo Dosunmu, Josh Giddey, and maybe Lonzo Ball if you roll that in there. Like, that's not too many guards to me, and I don't think that the Bulls are underwhelming at any other position. I guess maybe you could say the center position, but your starting center is still an 18 and 11 center. Yeah, he's not a defensive lockdown there, but the guy you're bringing up behind him now, Jalen Smith, is a solid defender and is somebody who can be efficient with the ball as well. So you've got two centers. It's a new NBA. You're not taking four centers on the court because there's no Shaq out there. That was the only reason teams had so many centers. I don't think people actually pay attention to that. Like, back in the day, they were like, we need 10 fouls for Shaq alone. That's why we got so many people on this bench.
That's funny. I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, like, I would like an additional player that can play center, only because every year we have some type of injury and then we end up playing a 6'7" guy at center for a bunch of minutes. Like, it just happens every year, right? But ultimately, like, it comes down to the rotation is the rotation.
I think that's a Billy Donovan choice, bro. Vooch been very healthy outside of COVID.
I didn't say it was always Vooch. Drums missed some time. Then the years prior to that, the years prior to that, we had Tony Bradley, who was a walking injury.
That was different. It wasn't about him being injured. He just couldn't play basketball. That was a different situation. It was like the better option is.
Do you remember that when the first time? It was a little bit after we first got on this show, and we literally were saying how it's like Tony Bradley was bad, and somebody was like, "Well, it's per 36 minutes he averages." And I was like, "Come on now,
I want to punch people in the face for per 36." Yeah, bro. I was gonna say last season you got 79 games out of Drum. Season before that 67. And those both season with the Bulls. I mean, yeah, he did miss a little time in there, but that Tony Bradley year was 3 years ago. That was bad.
Yeah.
And then he got picked up by another human being.
And then we brought in Tristan Thompson.
Hey, bro, he got picked up out the league.
Has he played another? I'm sure he's gotten in another game since then.
I don't think so, bro. Hold on.
Let's see.
Bro, I put in Tony Bradley, and his name didn't even pop up.
Tony Bradley has not played actual regular season NBA game since 2022-23 with the Chicago Bulls.
He got picked up.
That's crazy.
That was that West Coast trip. Hold on. Even better. Is his last game that game?
Yeah, Oh no, I don't think that was his last. That couldn't have been his last game.
He only played 12 games that year, bro. Hold on.
His last game was against Milwaukee. He played 4 minutes.
Nah, we count that.
Yeah.
I'll allow
he probably only played 4 minutes in that Memphis game.
Yeah, for real.
I mean, let's be clear here. But that's crazy.
That is nuts, bro.
That's nuts. That's bananas. But yeah, I mean, overall, like, Yeah, the Bulls rotations are going to be interesting, and how Billy Donovan balances, not even from the standpoint of what we have too much of not, but like you're already coming into the season theoretically playing Zach LaVine at the 3, which isn't necessarily too much different from how they've used him at the 2 with how Billy Donovan's system is, but like you're trying to balance out this thing the best that you can, and so that's going to be an interesting part that first month, that tough month of the season, to see how those rotations balance out.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a listen. There's going to be jobs up for grabs. Whoever can prove to be the best in the rotation, that is an opportunity for you to show out. Maybe Leroy Carter wakes up.
Yeah, that's it. Well, while we're talking about rotation players, we lost one rotation player in Javonte Green, officially now signing with the Pelicans. But we're gonna talk a little bit about that. But before we get into that, we gotta get into a message from one of our sponsors, and that is eBay Motors.
Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me?
Passion.
Playoffs?
That's too long of a one to play, bro. Passion, drive, and patience. The formula for winning championships is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you always find exactly what you're looking for. And with the eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber and not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions do apply. The eBay Guarantee Fit only available to U.S. customers.
Let's go, Bulls!
All right, Pat. Unfortunately, we lost a brother. We lost a soldier, some would say.
Okay.
Yeah, some would say that. Javonte Green, who a lot of Bulls fans have been wondering what the future of Javonte was going to be, officially signed a one-year deal with the New Orleans Pelicans yesterday. Pat, I think this is actually a really good signing for the Pelicans. When you look at that, Herb Jones, Trey Murphy III kind of rotation they're going to have there at the wing. Javonte Green is a player that if you just get a minute, he's going to produce at some level for you. Every team kind of needs that. By the way, Zion, who apparently they're saying is going to be the starting center for the Pelicans, who lost a lot of weight. Did you see the new pictures of Zion? You can actually see his neck now. He has a neck.
Get some chiropractor work done.
Hey, listen.
Hold on, I gotta see this. I haven't seen the updated pictures of Zion Williamson. There's was Zion? Did Zion not have a neck? I feel like Zion had a neck.
No, yeah, well,
I feel like it was a fat neck. But, God! Wait a minute.
That's what I'm saying. No, that's a big difference,
Bro, this ain't a neck, bro. This man got a tree trunk, dog.
Bro. Like, whoa.
Is that crazy? Man. That's not crazy.
That's a little crazy, bro.
We talking about.
Oh, I'm talking about the weight loss. I'm not talking about your comment being crazy. Like,
oh, you saw a different picture?
No, I'm just saying. No, I'm saying that it's crazy the amount of weight loss that he's had since the end of the season.
Just for the YouTube side of things, I had to pull this over. This is nuts. This is nuts. What was he at last year? He was 280 last year? Bro, he looked 260.
Yeah. Did you see the side-by-side of him the last game of the season versus now?
I did not.
Hold on, let's see if I can find it. We talk about Javonte Green. I'll see if I can find it.
Thing about Javonte Green that the Pelicans are adding that is a good thing to have. I mean, listen, you know what he brings defensively. You know what he brings energy-wise. The dangerous part of this is, if I'm not mistaken, not Calderon. Who am I thinking? What's the Jose Alvarado? Pairing him and Jose Alvarado together.
Hey, there's going to be a lot of deflections.
A lot of deflections, a lot of steals, lot of bounce on that as well. When you're talking about oops, I mean, Alvarado can definitely throw it up there to Javonte, and Javonte can bring it down. Like, I just think that there's a lot of energy that they've added to their bench unit right now. And I think it's something that they need, right? Somebody who's going to be a spark, somebody who's going to inspire, somebody who can really get after it and add to that team defensively. Oh my God, that is crazy, bro. That is crazy. Why was it a Bronny James thing? What was the What was the
They
Bronny
said before
James
Bronny James entered the NBA, now that Bronny James is in it. That's just stupidity at the bottom.
Are we saying he got skinny for Bronny James? That's
just some idiot.
That's questionable out there, guys. But no, I think to me, right, when you talk about Javonte Green and the impact that he brings to a team, listen, we love Javonte here for one reason: hard hustle and muscle. Right? Stacey King talks about it all the time, and it is true. He exudes it. He's somebody that I believe is going to add value to the Pelicans. And I think that he's finally on a team that he doesn't just get lost in the shuffle. That was kind of the tough part about Javonte here, was because of, even though he had improved his shooting, because of his limited ability shooting the three, right? You kind of were like, all right, we get lost in the shuffle of how many guards we have. That's why the Bulls were willing to let him go the first time. I think when we brought him back, right, we were down 3 guards at that point, so it made sense to bring him back a little bit more. But it's good to have Javonte. My thing is, I'm glad he's still in the league.
Yeah, that's a fact.
To me, it's good to see him back in the league and thriving in the league as well.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. I mean, listen, I think he's going to fit in nicely on that team. I think also DeJounte Murray being there as well, him having either Jose Alvarado or DeJounte Murray there at the point guard is going to help him a lot, get out and run and get out and transition, those type of things. So it's really good for Javonte. I have nothing but positive things to say about Javonte Green. Of course, the Bulls went younger with their roster. Javonte, who's I think going to be now 31 at some point during the season.
Which feels wrong.
Yeah,
no, he's 31 now. He'll be
31 now.
He turns 32 in the offseason because me and him,
okay.
I think our birthdays were around the same time.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, listen, like nothing but positive stuff to say about Javonte. And I know some Bulls fans are like, well, we could have used him, but we're going younger. We're clearly going younger. It is what it is. That decision has been made with this roster, and that's what they're going to do. Now we hope that somebody else is going to bring some of that injury, whether it's Modest Bucilis, Julian Phillips, Dalen Terry, whoever, that somebody else brings that energy now for the Bulls.
I think my big thing is, like now the CD market in Chicago is just going to die because we know Javonte was the only one slanging CDs still out of the trunk of a 96 Impala. And it's just tough to see that market finally go by the wayside. All those unused portable, I don't even remember what they were called. What were portable CD players called back in the day? What do we call it? Not a Walkman. We called it, maybe it was just CD player. We just call it CD player. I feel like it had a name. I feel like a disc something.
I think they were still just Walkmans, bro.
Were they still Walkmans? Did we still call them Walkmans? I thought we didn't. I don't know. But
I could be wrong on that. Just how long it's been since I listened to a portable CD?
Bro,
that's crazy.
Bro, the days of having to walk around with a CD case were elite, dog.
Oh, yeah.
You know how much money I was making burning CDs in high school, dog?
I was the first one in high school. Shout out to my dad. He was the first. We were the first ones to have a computer that burnt CDs. You know how many real talk, man.
Hey, I had no.
I remember I sold burnt CDs, and that's how I bought NBA Street the first time.
Yeah, legit. I had we had burnt CDs all over the school, my guy. At first, I was selling them as $5 a pop, and then I was like, "Oh, it's a demand for this." I was getting like $15 on the CD. The CDs were selling for $25.
This is going to be a peek behind the curtain. So
is this legal? Can we talk about this?
Yeah, I mean, yes. The statute of limitations is passed.
All right, we're good. All right, let's do it.
So I used to sell R&B mixes. I used to call them the Get the Draws mixes. So I made it all the way up to GTD volume 23. I will never forget. And I stopped because it was like, I'm stopping at the Michael Jordan number. I was up to GTD volume 23. Shout out to anybody who at Hazelwood East in St. Louis, Missouri. They know the vibes, bro. I was selling them GTD mixtapes, bro. Like, this is what it is.
Haize contributed to so much teen pregnancy in high school.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely.
It's ridiculous. Some of it is on. Hey, man, let's. Oh, dog.
And Nick says I'm not funny. Anyway.
Hey, bro. I'm not gonna lie, I miss them days, dog. Man, just sitting there watching Devin Hester highlights on YouTube and friggin' burning CDs, bro.
Yep.
Let's get back to it.
Hey, at least we were just burning CDs because some other people in high school burning some other things. But that
listen, I tried to go the illegal paraphernalia route. I smiled too much, and I ain't gonna lie. You pull a pistol out on me, I'm probably just gonna be like, "It's yours now." I I was like, a weekend, bro. And Muzz was like, hey, I'm gonna take that from you. I was like, oh dang. It's probably in my line of work. I'm probably not gonna be I'm not gonna make it in this game.
That is hilarious.
Nobody robs you for CDs, dog. Nobody robs you.
Funny. That's funny.
Hey, I was never affiliated, but I know a lot of people.
Exactly.
Hit that like button, subscribe to just the amount of teen pregnancy that you contributed to.
Hey, listen, like I said, anybody. Hey, I started in Vicenza, Italy, made it all the way when we moved to St. Louis. Y'all know GTD Volume 5 was goated, bro. I'm gonna bring those back as Spotify playlists. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna spend my time bringing them back as Spotify.
That's not bad.
Playlists.
I'll sub to that. I will sub to that. That's not bad. Hey, man, before we get up out of here, we got to talk about another Lonzo Ball update. That's right. You can never have too many. Right after this. A little late on the trigger on that one. That was weird. But first, we got to tell you about our sponsors over at FanDuel. You've heard us talk a lot about FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. But we have something a little bit different for you. Now through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial. Didn't you just read this ad, bro?
No, I did eBay.
Oh, no. You did the start. You did the start. My bad. No, because I'm saying the same thing. All FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial to NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Then, with your YouTube TV base plan, you'll be able to watch every regular season Sunday afternoon out-of-market game. All you need is a Google account and a current form of payment. You can cancel at any time. All you got to do is just visit FanDuel.com/locked-on to download America's #1 sports book. FanDuel.com/locked-on to download America's #1 sports book. Clap it up. It's all over the place today. I don't know.
Bro, like you got to stop pressing so many buttons there, bro. Was that the Windy City Breeze that was about to start playing? That's crazy. That's funny. As y'all can tell, Pat the Designer is going out with some flair in his last week and a half here. So, you know, it is what it is, man. But with that said, Pat,
what if I left and then like came back as a guest the very next week?
That's probably going to happen. I'm sure we're going to because you got to come back to talk training camp. So like,
we'll see.
With that said, we got another Lonzo Ball update. This is like the one once it's bi-weekly now. I can handle the bi-weekly Lonzo update. So Lonzo Ball came out, he was interviewed. He does say that fans can expect him on the court this season. Did not say at the start of the season, did not say when. He's still not cleared for basketball activities as far as NBA basketball level activities. But Lonzo has kept reiterating the fact that he will play basketball this season. Pat, do you believe that over or under 25 games for Lonzo Ball on the court for the Chicago Bulls this season?
I'm going to be optimistic. I'm going to say over. Say over. I do think he'll be back by the start of the season. I mean, once you get cleared for 5-on-5 this far ahead of training camp, I would be surprised if he's not.
If he suffers a setback now between now and training camp, just it's done.
Call it one. Yeah. We'll hear it like who just retired that it tried to make a last day to Tariq Cohen. It'll be a Tariq Cohen comeback. You know what I mean? I tried. It didn't work out. Appreciate y'all. I'm out of here. But to me, I think that, you know, when you talk about where Lonzo was at in his rehab, I think that you have to expect him to be a part of this team. I think you have to expect him to be on the court. I think you have to expect at least more than 25 games, although that may be tough. Because right now that's where it's trending. He seems like he's moving in the right direction. And listen, I don't know whether it's gonna happen or not, but at least with Lonzo right now, he feels like they finally addressed the right thing. And he feels confident enough to be out there playing 5-on-5 versus, I mean, what was that? Just the D1 guys, the local D1 guys that he was basically playing with. Like, I would assume D1. I wouldn't think he was just at like export, which is not a bad thing. You know what I mean? Like the fact that you're comfortable enough to just go out there and just hoop, that's a good sign. And so, you know, Lonzo being cleared, I think that you have to feel like he's going to be in a better position coming into this training camp. And because of that, I'm going to be optimistic. I get a lot of pessimistic Pat on this show because the Bulls usually warrant it. But I'm going to be optimistic on Lonzo on this thing. And we set let's be real. We set the line at 25 games. That's not good if he plays 26. Technically, I'm still right, and he still had a bad year.
That is true. I mean, listen, like I said, I always compare Lonzo Ball to me. And this, I'm not saying that their injuries are the same because they're not. Lonzo's is actually a lot more severe. But I always go to Jonathan Isaac as just kind of the example of how being out of basketball that long, how you can come back. And for the credit, Jonathan Isaac, his first season back, he played 34 games.
Yeah.
Then 11, and then 58 last year. So I feel like in the first season back, setting it at 25, over under, it really isn't that bad in the grand scope of things. Be out of something and like the doctor's YouTube channel that I watched the last time they talked about Lonzo, they're like, even if Lonzo's medically cleared, you got to realize like it's also like the joints and everything adjusting back to the rigors of NBA basketball, which that alone could have you missing some serious games, and just the muscle pain and spasms he's bound to have. So listen, anything, if Lonzo gets back on the court and looks good, in whatever minutes, whatever games he plays, that's a huge step in the right direction for Lonzo Ball. And that's all you can ask for at this point.
For sure. And you got to think, right? Like, he's probably not playing any back-to-backs. That West Coast trip that is long and grueling, I would doubt he plays. What are we're away for 10 games?
Yeah.
I would doubt he plays in 6 of those. You know what I mean? Like, I
for
think
sure.
I think that there's just certain parameters they're going to put in place. So he's going to miss a certain amount of games just on we're trying to be protective of him to get him through the year. But I mean, at the same time, right, if Lonzo Ball is still a part of this team by the end of the season, it's going to be crunch time. At a certain point, he's going to have to be ready to go. And you would hope that the Bulls are at least in a play-in mix. And they're trying to get in the play. Now, I think most Bulls fans will say, just take the L on that. But you're trying to get into the mix. You're trying to win as many games as possible. We know that's how AK is. We know that's how Billy Donovan is. I would expect to see a lot more Lonzo toward the end of the season than the beginning of the season if he is healthy and has a good bounce back year.
Yeah. We'll see. Is there any world in which, Pat, that you think, and I got to ask you this now because theoretically you won't be around at the end of the season. Is there any world in which the Chicago Bulls re-sign Lonzo at the end of the season?
In my world, no. In the Chicago Bulls world, yes. Because if Lonzo shows out and is your bench point guard, how much risk is there re-signing him to a $5 million deal, knowing that you've still got Aldo Sumo on this team? You've still got, I mean, like, I don't think you sign him to real money. $5 million is a lot of money. I don't think you sign him to.
They can sign us right now for not real money. Don't worry about it.
Please sign me.
We can play about as many games as Lonzo has the last 2 years, so it's okay.
If the Bulls sign me for not real money, I'll stay on Locked On Bulls. You know what I mean? I can hire some people to handle the situation that's happening here. But no, I just think that you're not going to take a chance on paying him anything that's going to affect you heavily long term. And I think that's most teams around the league right now. So I could see the Bulls taking a chance on him.
Guess we'll see. I guess we'll see. Yeah. Any last thoughts, Pat, before we get up out of here?
Nah, man. Follow us on everything at Locked On Bulls. You can follow me on everything at Pat the Designer. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. And y'all stay safe out there, Chicago.
Absolutely. You guys can follow me at CEO Haize. And thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Locked On Bulls. We are free and available in every podcasting app and platform of your choice, as well as YouTube. For Pat the Designer, this has been Locked On Bulls. We out, y'all. Peace.
Peace.
You know, I just realized I got to get a new outro. I can't keep saying for Pat the Designer.
Yeah, that mess is weird when you got to switch up everything you said. Gonna be empty in those ad breaks without that.